In a small town nestled between rolling hills and lush green fields, there stood an elementary school that had earned a reputation for nurturing both young minds and compassionate hearts. At the heart of this school was Mr. Thompson, a beloved teacher known for his engaging lessons and profound wisdom. One sunny morning, he decided to share a tale of wisdom and perspective with his eager students, an enchanting story called The Jar of Life. As the children settled into their seats, their eyes fixed on Mr. Thompson, he began to weave his tale. Once upon a time, he began, there was a wise old man who wanted to teach his granddaughter about the art of living a fulfilling life. He placed a large glass jar in front of her and proceeded to fill it with 3 things: rocks, pebbles, and sand. The children leaned in, their curiosity piqued. The old man explained that the jar represented life itself, and the rocks, pebbles, and sand were symbolic of different aspects of life. He began by filling the jar with rocks, which he described as the most important things in life: family, friends, health, and personal values. These are the things that should take up the most space in your life, he said. Mr. Thompson's voice carried the weight of the lesson as he continued. Next, the old man poured in pebbles, which represented other meaningful pursuits like hobbies, passions, and personal goals. While not as critical as the rocks, these bring joy and purpose to your life, he explained. Pausing for effect, Mr. Thompson looked around at his captivated audience. And then, he said, he poured in the sand, which represented the everyday tasks, trivial worries, and distractions that fill our lives. The children's eyes widened with realization, and some exchanged knowing glances. But here's the catch, Mr. Thompson continued. If you were to fill the jar with sand first, there wouldn't be enough space for the rocks and pebbles. In life, if we let the small things, the worries, the distractions, consume our time and energy, we won't have room for the things that truly matter. A hushed silence enveloped the classroom as Mr. Thompson let the lesson sink in. But the wise old man wasn't done yet. Mr. Thompson smiled. He took out a pitcher of water and poured it into the jar until it was full to the brim. "What does this teach us?" he asked his granddaughter. The children's hands shot up, eager to share their insights. "Yes, Johnny?" Mr. Thompson nodded at a boy in the front row. "It shows that no matter how full life seems, there's always room for something more if you look at it differently," Johnny said. "Exactly," Mr. Thompson beamed. "Life is all about perspective. When you think your schedule is full, there's always time for an act of kindness, a moment of connection, or a shared laugh. The water in the jar reminds us that life is fluid, and we have the power to adapt and make space for the things that truly matter." As the bell rang, signaling the end of the lesson, Mr. Thompson looked at his students with pride. He knew that the story of the jar of life had left a lasting impression on their young hearts and minds. As the children filed out of the classroom, their chatter was filled with discussions about rocks, pebbles, sand, and the wisdom they had gained. And so, in that small classroom, Mr. Thompson had not only taught his students about the jar of life, but he had also planted a seed of understanding. That life's most valuable lessons often come in the form of simple stories that touch the soul and guide the way forward.